One more day, boys. One more day. What's up, fans? So you might be asking yourself, you look like you're in a different position. That's because I am. I'm going to be reviewing something and giving you guys my live reaction to reading an article from NFL.com, which normally, like any media outlet besides the Miami radio or Miami news or any of that stuff, tends to shit on the Dolphins. They shit on the Dolphins. That's what they do. I was scrolling through some things yesterday, and I noticed that who is this writer? Adam Rank, who I don't know where I'd rank him. Sorry. Adam Rank came out with an article. He did like the whole division of state of the franchise for the Miami Dolphins. Bleacher Report also did one, but I'm going to stick with NFL.com's. Just because I'm very interested in what they have to say. Because like I said, a lot of times they like to shit on the Dolphins. So I'm going to talk about this. We're going to review this together as a Dolphin family and potentially get annoyed. It's a Dolphin family. And then get to one of you guys' comments of the day. And then I'm going to talk about the live stream that's going to happen Sunday. Because Sunday, the rookies are going to training camp. So we'll jump right into this. And it starts with like him saying, you know, Miami Dolphins organization, Dolphins fans around the world, usual stuff that they say, you know, Dolphins. Normally when you look at people talk about the Dolphins, first thing they say is Dan Marino. And the first thing they say is the Dolphins haven't had a quarterback since Dan Marino. And then they talk about other quarterbacks. So essentially the first thing he says, member of the Dolphins organization, Dolphin fans around the world, and those who will tell you that Dan Marino is not only the best quarterback of all time, but has the best movie role of current, blah, blah, blah. Dolphin fans, you have a strong, you have a storied history, the first and only team, yeah, blah, 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 blah. So he says, how did the Dolphins get here? Right? How did they get to where they're at now? Essentially, new head coach, all that jazz. And he says the highs. He talks about the highs of last season. He brings up starting 3-game winning streak, which was really, it was a high. It was a really big high. And he says, including a road win against the Jets, which then he goes, oh, now you get why Adam Gase was hired by the Jets. It's probably, yeah, that probably is why he was hired by the Jets, but it was the stupidest decision. So yeah, he talks about that. He talks about the Bears game in overtime. He makes a joke about Cody Parkey missing a field goal, which is not out of the norm. But he never missed one when he was on the Dolphins. Did you ever realize that? I don't think he never missed one, but he never missed an important one when he was with the Dolphins. And then he talks about the Miami Miracle, which that was the highest of highs of last season, if you ask me. Yeah, those are the highs. 3-game winning streak, beat the Bears, Miracle Miami. Those are some of the highs. I'm not gonna disagree with that, nor am I gonna poop on his head for that one. Good on you, Adam Rank. Let's see what he talks about with the lows. Talks about a home loss to the Lions week 7, but in fairness, he says the Dolphins were in the midst of a stretch that included 3 games in 12 days, and Brock Osweiler was Miami's starting quarterback. Brock Osweiler, he did one good thing against the Bears, and everyone wanted to crown that man. Again, I don't think Brock Osweiler did that well against the Bears. I think it was the scheme, but I'm not going to get into that. Finished the season with 3-game losing streak. Dolphins have managed to go above 500 after the Miami Miracle, which, if you guys remember the year before, we beat the Patriots in home Monday night and kind of put us in the playoff hunt, and then we kind of shit the bed. Miami Dolphins 3 games, didn't make the playoffs. Minnesota, Jacksonville, and Buffalo. Jacksonville game we should have won. Minnesota game, if we would have just had an offensive line, we would have won. But the Jacksonville game, we should have won. That one is hot garbage. These lows aren't bad lows, but I think he should have added one more low. And it kind of was like the first low of the season for me. We had that 3-game winning streak. We beat the Raiders. We were feeling good. Had a chance to go up to Foxborough, make a statement. And not only, like, it's not about make a statement as in winning, but make a statement as in being competitive. And we were not. We got our asses whipped by the Patriots. So I would say that was like the first low of the season. having that 3-game winning streak and then losing to the Bengals. It kind of like started the skid of, well, crap, what happened to the team that won 3 in a row? So I would say that was, start of the lows. And then he talks about the 2019 and VIPs. Doesn't really explain what he means by that, but I'm assuming he means the 2019 important people on the team. He talks about the head coach Brian Flores, ball move for the Dolphins. I'm here for it. I know you're going to hear the old Belichick coaching tree knock, which I have heard a lot, and it absolutely drives me nuts. Because you can go down the history of things and be like, well, look at this. This normally happens here, and this normally happens, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, it didn't happen. I guess this is an anomaly. God, just leave it alone. Which is fine, and really that might hit close to home, thinking back to Nick Saban era in Miami. Gross. But as the league gets more offensive, I like the Dolphins are zagging, which is very true. Everyone's going more offense, going with the speedy spread and then the quarterbacks that can run and pass, Mahomes and all those types of quarterbacks. And then we're focused more on stopping it and doing all that stuff. He talks about Chad O'Shea, Jim Caldwell had to step away. He talks about that. Flores won 3 Super Bowls as an assistant coach with the Patriots. The last as the team's defective defensive coordinator, which again, a lot of people don't want to talk about the fact that he called and ran the defense. Everyone wants to think, oh, it's Bill Belichick that did it. Even Bill Belichick said that it was Flores, and then that scheme that won them those playoff games, one of the Super Bowl, was on Brian Flores, so I'm liking it. So he talks about Brian Flores being one of the VIPs, which is the head coach, which I agree. I've said thousands of times I love Brian Flores. I haven't even seen him coach it yet, but I just like the fact that he's a well-rounded coach. Then he talks about the quarterbacks. We always, when you talk about the Miami Dolphins for the last 20 years, you talk about the quarterbacks. Dan Marino retired in 1999, and then everyone's like, who's going to replace Marino? Damien Howard, Jay Fiedler, Lucas. Even Brian Greasy was our quarterback at one point. Everyone was like, Bob Greasy's son. So ever since Dan Marino retired, that's the talk of the town. And then once we get a quarterback, once we draft a quarterback, everyone wants to put the pressure on that quarterback of, are you the next Marino? So, he talks about quarterbacks. Earlier this offseason, Dolphins traded Ryan Tannehill, signed Ryan Fitzpatrick, then traded for Josh Rosen. He goes in this whole spiel. Fitzpatrick outperformed Rosen last year in every major category, obviously because he was on a better team. He talks about the categories. Quarterback battle will be interesting for the Dolphins, who have struggled to replace Dan Marino, who retired after 1999. Again, I have not read this before I said what I just said to you. I'm reading it right now. Miami has 19 different starting quarterbacks since 2000. The best in the class in terms of total starts and wins was Tannehill, which is not wrong. Over the entire span, the Dolphins ranked 26th in passing yards and passing rating, 25th in yards per attempt, 27th in touchdown to interception ratio. So it's funny he put that little blip in the last paragraph of his quarterback thing. And I told you, I didn't read that. I literally just read it verbatim to you guys, and I told you he was going to do it because that's the talk of the town with the Miami Dolphins. It's never about who's replacing who's replacing Zach Thomas, who's replacing Jason Taylor, who's replacing the Marks brothers, it's always Dan Marino, which I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm not saying it's not justified, but I always feel bad for these quarterbacks coming in. Josh Rosen, if he does win the quarterback competition, and if he does start to be our quarterback for the next 3 years, he's going to have to deal with it. And then he says projected 2019 MVP is Damien Howard, cornerback, which I agree. I think I've said it. One of you guys did ask me, and I did say it, that I think Damien Howard is going to be really good. I like Damien Howard. Again, you just look at his stats and look at his gameplay and just look at how he plays. If quarterbacks that throw to him, the receivers that he's covering have like a 66 passer rating. Like they never throw to him. So the fact that they never threw at Damien Howard and he still had 7 interceptions in 11 games last year. Again, but don't be surprised if his interceptions go down, but I'll talk about that later because I think one of you guys asked me a very good question, comment of the day that I want to get to. So he talks about Damien Howard, brings that up, 12 passes. Truly broke out last year despite missing 4 games, obviously. He noted the NFL high 7 picks, yes, 12 passes defended, and earned the first Pro Bowl nod, which I don't like Pro Bowls. Pro Bowls is, you get all your fans to vote for it. All Pro is where it's at. Howard yielded 62.6 passer rating and coverage last year. But you want to, and then EA, you want to rank him, 27th corner in the league? But I'm going to move on before I get angry. Then he talks about the breakout star of 2019. He says Devontae Parker, and he goes, kidding. You might be kidding. And I don't knock him for kidding, because Devontae Parker, he's missed some games and he's been struggling with health issues and all that stuff. But don't be surprised with a new quarterback in there, especially one as aggressive as Fitzpatrick, if Devontae Parker is actually a rising star and actually turns this thing around. But he actually says his actual 2019 breakout star is Kenyon Drake, which I agree. We didn't bring a fullback in for no reason. We're going to be running the ball. Again, with under Adam Gase, Kenyon Drake, he wasn't able to run the ball, nor was he able to do anything because Adam Gase is an ass. As a fantasy enthusiast, I wanted him to break out the past couple of years, but it didn't happen. Again, this is why I don't draft Dolphin players, or I try my hardest not to draft Dolphin players when I do fantasy, because then you get really disappointed in your team when they struggle. Frank Gore has 150 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. Kenyon Drake has 30 yards rushing and 20 yards reception. And you're so mad that Kenyon Drake didn't get it because you have him on your fantasy team. That's why I never do it. But he talks about that, and brings up, according to Pro Football Focus, Drake has he's the third highest rate of forced missed tackles, behind only Kareem Hunt and Melvin Gordon. And there's a whole debate about Melvin Gordon coming to Miami. Or someone of you guys brought up, hey, should we trade for him? No. 28 on 120 carries or 23%. He's made people miss. The guy's elusive as crap. Come on. And then he talks about it. He says, what about Kalen Ballage? He says, if you looked at his highlights, you would think he was the best running back in the NFL. He had a monster run against the Vikings. Look at this. And he links the video, but we've all seen it because we're all Dolphin fans. Maybe this breakout year for the Dolphins backfield as a whole. Yes, I agree. So far, Adam Rank, I don't hate what you're writing, and you're not hating on the Dolphins, so I get it, and I like it. I like it a lot. So far, I have a feeling he's going to say something to piss me off. And then new face to know, Christian Wilkins, defensive tackle, he's made quite the impression on the league during his onstage greeting where he almost killed Roger Goodell, but you could watch his tape too. We all know about Christian Wilkins. He's just super disruptive, super fast, super I'm excited. I'm very excited. So then he talks about the 2019 roadmap, essentially, what do people see for the horizon? And again, this is probably where I'm piss me off, Adam Rank. But he says the competitive urgency index is super low. I don't know what he means by competitive urgency. To me, that means you have this urge or this urgency to be competitive. Oh my God, we have to be competitive right now. And he says the Dolphins haven't won a playoff game since 2000. That's when Jay Fiedler, one of my underrated, which a lot of you guys were really upset about, was the starting quarterback. The Finns defeated Peyton Manning and the Colts in the wild card game. I know Peyton Manning lost the playoff game. The hell you say? You made a joke. I don't get that. That it's super low, our competitive urgency index. Is he trying to say that we don't have the urgency to be competitive this year? It's very low, which is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. What team is nah, we'll just see how this season plays out. Oh, we're playing the Ravens week 1. Maybe we'll put a scheme together for them. Yeah, we don't need to win it. It's week 1. Stupid. And then he says, will the Dolphins be able to? And then he talks about some things that will the Dolphins be able to? Will the Dolphins be able to stick with one quarterback? Here's the tricky thing about Fitzpatrick. And then I'm just scanning with my eyes. There's going to be a stretch in the season where he's an amazing quarterback in the league and then not. And then also Dolphin fans, you have the first time ever, blah, 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 blah. So essentially what he's saying, and I didn't, I'm just scanning it, but I'm going to assume What he's saying is obviously Fitzpatrick gets really hot and Fitzpatrick will win you. And I said this multiple times throughout the season. Fitzpatrick will win you games. He will win you at least 5 games. So for a lot of people that thought the Dolphins were tanking, once they signed Fitzpatrick, they were not tanking because him alone will win you to 4 to 5 games. But then he'll have the stretch of 3 games or, 2 games and then a win and then another loss. Like he'll have a stretch where he's just struggling because he's trying too hard or he's trying to make up for the lack of something else going on the offense. And he forces plays and he forces passes and he gets interceptions. So they're saying, will he start? Will he stay the starter? I don't know. I'm not a fortune teller, nor do I have a crystal ball. But in all honesty, I just want the best quarterback to win. I want the best quarterback to win the competition starting next week. And I just want the best quarterback to be out there to win us a game. I want the most competitive, aggressive, best quarterback. So this is, if we don't, we don't. If we do, fantastic. That's the way I see it. And then he says improve on the 31st ranked offense. Yes. I honestly say yes. And then he says improve on the 29th ranked total defense. Yes. I'm not even going to read these because they're obviously bad. There's a reason that we lost some games. But there's a reason we won some games. So yeah, I honestly do. I think we have the talent. I think we have everything. It's just got to be coached properly. It wasn't coached properly the past 3 years. So yeah, I honestly think from the 31st ranked offense, there's you got one more to be worse. There's only one way, it's up. And then the same thing with the 29th ranked total defense. Only way's up. So yeah, I honestly think they'll be improved. And then he talks about some key dates for this upcoming schedule, which these are some big ones. You got the Patriots game, week 2, which the Dolphins, Patriots struggle in Miami. Again, I said don't be surprised, 2-0. That's what he talks about. Week 6 against the Redskins. He says it's funny. Redskins fans see this game as, Miami, easy win. But then you have the Dolphins fans look at Washington, easy win. Someone will likely be right. I say likely because it could be a tie. I think why he really should put week 6 versus the Redskins as a key date is because if Fitzpatrick is struggling, that might be the game where Rosen comes in after a bye. And then he says week 9 versus the Jets, Adam Gates revenge game. Wait, is it the Dolphins who want the revenge? I talk about this or the Jets, whatever. I guess it could go either way. Yeah, it's just a big game, and we're going to beat the Jets. I don't care what you say. Then he talks about 2 storylines. One of them is one storyline people are overlooking, which is Albert Wilson, which I agree. He brings up some stats, 55.9 yards per game. And then he talks about 17.7 yards per game is the next nearest receiver on the Dolphins. And if you look at the numbers, the Dolphins were 4-3 with him on the field, 3-6 without him. Albert Wilson is hugely important to this team, and I really hope he starts week 1. I hope he comes back fully healthy. And then he says one storyline people are overthinking is the breakout of Devontae Parker, and he says it's like John Cena turning heel. So if you guys know wrestling, John Cena, everyone wanted him to turn heel. He never turned heel, even though he kind of started his career as a heel. So it's not going to happen. You never know. Never say never. Never say never. How many times did people say, this is never going to happen. That'll never happen. Then it happened. Well, Dolphins are never going to beat this team, and then we beat them. So don't never say never. And for 29 to be successful season, Dolphins must beat the Patriots. I mean, they have become a tradition now. We're going to beat the Patriots. We'll split with the Patriots. We always split with the Patriots. We had freaking Jay Cutler as our quarterback. We split with the Patriots. Figure out who the quarterback situation is. Yeah. I guess that could be in there for making next season successful, is to know who our quarterback is and to know what we're doing in next year's draft. But I think our successful season is to, put some wins together, to be competitive, to show promise, to win some games, to show the unity and camaraderie that we need as a team. I think those are some of the things that will make the 2019 successful, and I'm talking regardless of record. Obviously, if you are 11-5, it's a successful season, but we go 8-8, 7-9, 9-7, to make the playoffs 9-7 would be fantastic, but to show that people had us losing like all the games except for 2 or 3, and then to prove them wrong is big. And then he says in closing, it's never easy to start over, especially with Dolphins fan, which team, blah, 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 blah. Only Bengals, Lions, Browns have longer active droughts, but I do feel good about where the team can go with Flores in control, and I do agree 100%. This team is going to be great, and I think this team, this season is going to surprise the hell out of people. So yeah, I I don't hate this article. Honestly, when I saw it, I was like, let me make this video. Let me do it straight. Let me do it without reading it. And I thought to myself, he's going to piss me off. He's going to say some things that are going to piss me off. No, it wasn't a bad article, Adam Rank. He talked about, I would have added a few things. I would have changed one or two things. But no, it was a really good article. Comment below. Let me know what you guys think. You can go read the articles on NFL.com. Let me know what you guys think below. Do you guys think this was an okay article? Do you guys think that some things were unjustified and some things were justified? Comment below. Let me know, and we get one of you guys' comments of the day. This one comes from Tyler, and he says to me, "Do you think Damien Howard can break the single season interception record?" I want to say yes, because obviously I'm a huge fan of Damien Howard, and I think he can do it, and I think it's very possible for him to do it. But if you want my God's honest opinion, no. If you don't know, the record is held by Night Train Lane. It's 14 interceptions on the season. Damien Howard had 7, only played 11 games. So add like another 4 or 5 onto there. He would have had 12 if you played the full season. That's just, I'm not saying mathematically. I'm just saying, why not add 4 or 5 more on? He would have had 12. He would have been very close to the 14. But no, I don't think so. I think the fact that he did as well as he did last year on such a limited basis, and he had multiple interception games. I think that these quarterbacks are smart, and these quarterbacks are not going to be throwing it his way, and they are going to avoid him like the plague, because we have no idea who's going to be on the other side, nor we know how good they're going to be on the other side of Damien Howard. So I think whoever the quarterback is, an offense corner on the other side, is going to just pick on whoever's opposite of Damien Howard, so he's not going to get as many opportunities to intercept the ball. So, it might stay around 6, 7 interceptions next year, and he'll play the full 16 games, maybe 18 games playoffs. So, no, I don't think so. Not because he can't do it, and not because he's bad, only because I don't think he's going to be targeted as much, because people are now starting to see how good Damien Howard is. But thank you for the comment. Before I get into my little spiel, I just want to remind you guys that on Sunday I'm going to be going live at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't know why I had such a hard time getting that out. That is when the rookies will be at training camp. So I'm going live for an hour, talk to you guys about what happened in the day of the camp, all that stuff. It's going to be really fun. So 6:30 Eastern p.m. Come hang out. I'm going to be live again for an hour talking about what happened at the first day of, it's rookie training camp. And then Wednesday the 24th, the vets show up. So come hang out. Other than that, be sure to follow me on Twitter. I'll be tweeting out things during the day before training camp starts. I'll also remind you guys on Twitter that I'm going to be going live. I'll remind you guys on Instagram too, so be sure to follow the Instagram as well. Be sure to check out the Bit Boys. I'm putting out a ton of videos, especially if you guys have any games you want us to play, let me know. I'm going to also be playing Madden. I'm going to pre-order it, so I'm going to get it early, so be sure to go over there, check that out. Playing a ton of games, a ton of different games for all different types of people, so if you like it, hit that subscribe button. But other than that, give this video a thumbs up. For once, the media didn't completely shit on the Miami Dolphins. It was a very fair article. Like I said, I would have changed a few things. But also give this video a thumbs up. We got one more day. Tomorrow's Saturday, Sunday, training camp. Then after that, we got 2 weeks. 2 weeks until we play the Atlanta Falcons. Like 2 weeks and like 5 days. We play the Atlanta Falcons. Football. We get to watch Dolphins football. I'm going to be live streaming it. Not the game, but me. We're going to hang out. Give this video a thumbs up. You're super pumped. Football's almost back, guys. I was listening to Miami Sports Radio with Michael Irving today, and he was just talking about how he's been craving football. So have I. So give this video a thumbs up, because it's almost here, guys. It's almost here. Also, if you're watching this on DolphinsTalk.com, how are you doing? Hope you enjoy the content. If you do enjoy the content, hit that little red button that says subscribe. I got a ton of stuff planned for this channel, especially with the season coming. Pre-game videos, post-game videos. I'm going to be going to games. I want to do meetups, all that stuff. Fantasy leagues, picks. I got so much planned. So be sure to hit that subscribe button. I will see you guys Sunday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to talk about the rookies coming to training camp. I don't know why I can't get the word out that I want to say, but I'm just going to keep bypassing it and just keep going on and talking what I want to talk about. But other than that, I'll see you guys Sunday. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and I hope to see all you guys Sunday to talk about football. But other than that, stay classy. Fins up.